All right, so let's take a look at number 17, and I've done a similar problem here, just kind of changed the numbers, but it's exactly the same. So you could read through your problem, and we input the variables, right? We've done a par value of 1,000, in this case 18, and that's the same number of periods for your guys. I used a 5% yield, and again, I find my yield, or the payment amount, by taking that times the par value. So I got $50 per year is what I'm going to get, but current rates are at 13%. So obviously rates have gone from 5% to 13%. So they've gone up dramatically. So the value, or what I want to pay for that bond, should go down dramatically from the par value, right? And once again, we calculate that just simply using our present value, right? Recent present value. Okay, I got my rate. I use the market rate, the number of periods, the payments 50, the future value is 1,000, so $452.81, just like we've done before. But then it goes on and asks, by what percent will the price of the bonds increase between now and maturity? And what it's asking for here is the capital gain. Okay, and so I'm going to buy it for $452.81, and let's ignore the payments that I'm getting, because it's not asking about those payments. It's just saying if I'm going to buy it for $452.81, I'm going to sell it for $1,000, right, in 18 years. Okay, I'm going to have a capital gain, it's called. Okay, and that's simply determined by taking my eventual, what I'm going to get in the future, and subtract what I pay for it, and because that's a negative number, I had to use the plus sign. Okay, so I make a capital gain of $547.19. But what's the return? Ultimately, that's what it asks for. It says, by what percent will the price of the bonds increase between now and maturity? So it's, what percent is this over this, basically? And we can say then that it's minus. I'm going to use the minus because I got one negative in here, and I want my result to be a positive. So it's this divided by this. Okay, and it should be over 100%, right? 100% return would be $452, but I'm making more than $452, and so I'm going to have 120.8%. Okay. Then it asks lastly, it says, what's the annual compound rate of growth in the value of the bonds? And once again, what it's really asking us to do is ignore the yield, right? It's saying if I pay this, okay, and ultimately I get that $1,000 18 years from now, what's that worth? Well, we've done these before, right? I mean, you know what you're getting. You know that you're getting you know what you're paying, I'm sorry, you know what you're getting in the future, and you know the number of periods. So we have three variables, right? And it's asking us to ignore what the payment is, and I'll show you why. Because if I enter the payment, okay, and what we solve for here is rate. So again, it's under financial, and come down, okay, click on rate. If I did use that $50, here's what happens. So I've got the number of periods, right? I've got a payment amount of, let's see, that's what I'm going to be getting back. So that's my $50. My present value is the minus, right? And I'm also going to get $1,000 in the future, and that just gives me my 13% like I expected. But it's asking not for that. It's just asking what the present value to the future value is over the 18 years. So let's take out that payment. Okay. And then I get an answer of 4.5%, right? Okay, so I'd get 4.5% annual compounded rate of return just based on the purchase price and the ultimate sales price without counting the $50. Okay.